So I know I'm going to get censored and shamed by the COVID fear pornographers for saying this, but am I the only one that finds it a little weird and a little suspicious that young, otherwise healthy and well-conditioned professional athletes are suddenly experiencing heart and health issues after that good old experimental vaccine? Weird. It's time for Final Thoughts. We aren't supposed to question the almighty COVID vaccine. I get it. Even if it doesn't prevent COVID, even if vaccinated people have still died from COVID, and even if the booster the government is now recommending has only been tested on 8 lab mice, we are still supposed to sit down and shut up because that's the way science is run these days. No dissent allowed. But luckily, I don't really give a lab rat's hiney about being censored at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. It's freaking weird and suspicious professional athletes are suddenly experiencing health and heart problems after the all but forced COVID vaccine. Take J.J. Watt, for example. He is a 33-year-old NFL defensive end for my non-sports fans and followers out there. And last week, he had to have his heart shocked back into rhythm after going into atrial fibrillation, a rapid and irregular heartbeat. Now, can I tell you this was vaccine related? No, I sure can't. But I've heard from pilots, Air Force service members, and even Johns Hopkins world-renowned doctor and scientist Dr. McCary that these heart conditions and abnormalities are suddenly more prominent since the introduction of the COVID series of vaccines. Is there a connection between heart abnormalities and the vaccine? Well, yes, there is. But don't worry, guys. Most health organizations don't recognize it as a vaccine side effect, and the CDC hasn't listed it yet, so all clear, don't question it. Some sources suggest it, but I'm sure they're just those whacked conspiracy theorists who've had a real knack for being right in the last 2 years. Will the guardians of science ever be honest about it? Will they release the studies on the vaccine side effects? Will they so much as acknowledge vax injuries? I'm not going to hold my breath because there is a very suspicious wave of shut the hell upism going on in the medical and science community right now. Maybe that's why there's also a mass exodus. I mean, hell, look at California. Governor Greasy Newsom just signed a bill into law making it easier for the California Medical Board to punish doctors who spread COVID-19 misinformation. Funny how misinformation always seems to be the information that's not convenient or helpful to one side of the mostly political science equation. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I don't know jack about vaccines, but I do have eyes and ears, and the links that the powers that be are going to tamp down on any discussion that goes against the vax's gospel narrative is frightening. And what boggles my mind is that the woke crowd will question about everything, but not the COVID fear porn and not Big Pharma. Seems a little eyes wide shut to me, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Those are my final thoughts. Make sure you catch the entire show and exclusive content at Outkick.com. From Nashville, God bless and take care.